My name is Robert Christopher Wayne Weathers. I live at 3102 Center Hill Road, Akron, Mississippi, 38841. I am still under attack by Scientology. Uh, so I just got out of the mental institution. My father had me committed. I was tortured in there badly, and uh, they removed brain tissue from my cerebellum, and then they cleaved the back of my brain. Also, while I was in there, they showed me things. They made me see things. So they're making me see my animals, Sissy and Coco, being tortured badly. So they keep doing this thing over and over again where they torture me and my family. Yeah, or extra dimensional. So they have removed uh, our extra dimensional biology. So let me explain a little bit about Scientology. So there are more than three dimensions. According to third dimensional math, there are 11 in total. So we have biology in these extra dimensions, 11 dimensional biology. This is a fact. Uh, we have 11 dimensional biology. Uh, Everything that we see while we are alive in the third dimension is shell. It is a thin layer of electrons that encompass 11 dimensions. So what we can see in the third dimension is just a shell for something else. There is another place. There's more matter here than we can see. They call this place the inverse. It appears to be something like inward expansion, where instead of expanding outward only, we also expand inward, and it comes out in another place. They call this place the inverse. There is also this dark matter or dark energy attached to us we can't see while we are alive. So there is a light side and a dark side. Uh, from what these Scientologists have showed me, sometimes it looks like two biologies back to back. We have another biology on our backs. That's what they have shown me. From my perspective, it looks like it goes inward, and it does come out in another place, but it doesn't appear to be on my back. Uh, it appears that we are the outside of something inward. It does come out below and inward. They say it is on our backs. I can ask them questions. So this extra dimensional biology is utilized for an afterlife. When we die, we live on. We do something called turning around or raising, where our consciousness goes from facing outwards. It turns and faces inwards, and it comes out on the other side. We have another set of eyes down below that we turn into, and then we leave our biologies. We do a natural cleave. We leave nothing but the shell behind and fly into outer space. We are ghostly or ghastly looking creatures. Fly in the afterlife. We have big heads and big torsos. We have a head covering that has two horns that point straight up. Uh, we are an Anunnaki. That is our bloodline. That is the bloodline for our afterlife biology. Anunnaki. Okay, Scientology is the practice of utilizing this extra dimensional biology before we die. They remove it from themselves. They use technology and techniques to turn it into an upper dimensional vehicle, like biology in which they can drive through the extra dimensions. Uh, so throughout the process of Scientology, this extra dimensional biology takes on a more alien looking appearance. They turn it and convert it into an alien form. So yes, there are people among the living driving upper dimensional vehicles. They are driving aliens through our extra dimensions at this moment. So first off, I have to elaborate on this entanglement property. So there's this entanglement property between our third dimension and our extra dimensions. If our extra dimensions are removed, no matter while we are alive, no matter where they go in the universe, you are still in this biology. What happens is you can't remove energy from our particles. The particle will be destroyed. So space-time warps and conforms to ensure this doesn't happen. So as this extra dimensional body part leaves you, space-time in between you and this removed biology shrinks to zero. As it's leaving you, space-time in between you and this biology is shrinking to zero. So they use this entanglement property for part of their technology and technique. So they have these facilities or compounds on Earth and in outer space that house extra dimensional biology. They like to do things like remove part of their extra dimensions, specifically brain and central nervous system tissue. So they like to take their extra dimensional brain stem, take it to one of these facilities, and put it into a storage system. And from this storage system, they can interface this body part to a computer system using electrodes or sensors. And this gives them this is part of their hive mind technology. So it allows the users to interact with each other in a digital landscape. It allows them to communicate with each other and to see each other through avatars. Uh, so yes, it's a phone service. They're talking to me. They also use this institution or this facility, this computer system, as a command center, so they can drive the rest of their upper dimensional biology. So there are 4 layers of 3 dimensions. So that equals 11 or 12 dimensions in total. It's the extent of my knowledge. There are 11 dimensions. That is what the math that I have studied shows. There are 11 dimensions. String theory. But you can also see calculus. This states that there are 12 or more dimensions. But there, as far as I know, as far from what I could have observed, there are 4 layers of 3 dimensions. And yes, our third dimension is just a shell. So we don't have 3 dimensions here. We have just a shell. There are 3 dimensions below. So the first 1 through 3 dimensions uh, are also inverse dimensions. So they have removed the extra dimensions from me and my family, and they are using it for several different purposes. Uh, First off, they're using it for transplants. So I'm an author and a creative. I have wrote a lot of literature, and I've created ideas that save the planet. Uh, they're very political. Uh, for instance, I wrote the Environmental Control Agency, created the Environmental Control Agency, which is a government agency designed to replace the Federal Reserve with a system of trickle up economics. And it utilizes another one of my ideas, my creations, Buffalo Dollar. It is a currency that can only be spent on approved products and services. So it is approved spending for trickle up economics. And this ensures that everyone receives the basic necessities of life and more. Uh, it ensures that we each reach our optimal potential. We each have the resources we need to become our best selves, and in turn have a good effect on the environment around us and the people and the life found in that environment. So they have witnessed me creating these ideas, writing this literature, and I've also wrote literature, comic books, and stories, uh, and they got to witness me write this, and they got to witness the joy of an author, of a creative, the joy that I experience and other creatives experience while working on uh, their ideas, and they fell in love with it. Yes, they've seen it as something of great value, and they wanted this for themselves. So this technology that they use gives them the ability to utilize another person's neural tissue They can literally take brain tissue out of someone else's head, just the extra dimensions, utilize it for themselves. They can use it as a transplant. They can put it in their own heads, or they can use this hive mind technology to access your neurology. So they can use your brain tissue for their own purposes. And this started body snatching. So first it started as exploitation. They wanted to somehow control my effect, my influence on society. I was very political activist. I'm libertarian, I guess you could say, a human rights activist. As we care very much about human rights and about humans uh, achieving success in their life. We want everyone to have good jobs, good paying jobs, good working conditions. Uh, we want you to have yes the basic access to the basic necessities of life. Well, not just access, we want you to acquire the basic necessities of life. It refers back to our sciences, which states that an organism, a life form, everything about this organism is determined by the environment which you find it in. And that means the house that you live in, the clothes that you wear, the food that you eat, your medicine, your health care, your working conditions. Uh, all of these aspects of reality have an effect on the organism. And in turn, it can make you uh, a good organism under good conditions, or a bad organism under bad conditions. So good organisms have good behavior, they have good health, they are healthy, and they have a good impact on the other organisms in their environment, including humans. So yes, under bad conditions, the opposite is true. So this organism, specifically humans, will have a negative impact on the life and other humans found in this environment. So it's one of these tenfold ideas where whatever you put into the system, it multiplies. You know, if you add good environmental variables, the effect that it has on the environment multiplies in a positive way, and the same can be said in a negative sense. So yes, they got to witness me create these ideas, write this literature, and study the sciences. They wanted it for themselves. And what's funny is I told them that I could teach them. I could teach them exactly to do exactly what I can do, uh, because it was taught to me. I had good teachers, and I went to college, but plus I had good teachers in high school and grade school. Yes, and then it turned into body snatching. It turned into a snuff film. It turned into some kind of scientific experimentation. So they would get to observe me utilizing my brain tissue, and they would try to figure out which part of my brain was allowing me to to do the things that I could do. So they would remove it, kind of reductive science experiment where they would remove brain tissue until I was unable to perform at the same level that I once did. So they have removed the extra dimensions from me and my animals and other family members. And they continuously force me to observe and torturing us, me and my animals. And it is extremely bad torture. It is extreme. It is very negative, very bad.